Hey y'all, it's Sophia and welcome back to Agsense. Here with me today I have my best friend Lauren.
Hey!
Now Lauren is not cultured in agriculture, haha. So she's going to be here with me today and she's going to ask me some questions that she has about stock shows. And yeah, so let's get into the video.
So question number one, what is a stock show?
So, Lauren, a stock show is something that many youth exhibitors and FFA members and non-FFA members take their animals that they have been raising through the years, depending on if it's a breeding or a market animal. They take their animal to a certain exhibit hall or arena or some place that is like in an agricultural area, I guess. And they show their animals, which means that they take it and they put it in front of a judge and they make it look the best it can be, so that they can get the feedback from the judge and they place to see how well their animal is.
And then is that where they kill them?
Sometimes. There's different types of shows. So there's buckle shows, which are jackpot shows, and there's county shows and big like stock show rodeos. At a jackpot show, you almost close to never would put your animal on the meat truck. Yeah. So a jackpot show is simply for your benefit. You take your animal and you see what you need to improve on.
Okay.
So, and then your county shows and like your Fort Worth stock show.
Okay.
That's somewhere that you can, if you place high enough, you can make sale and you put your animal on the truck.
Okay. Cool. How does it work?
Okay. So a stock show works pretty much like this. If you have a certain date, you have to have your like registration in by.
Okay.
And what that means, it comes with like vet checks, making sure your animal is healthy enough to take it to the show, and working it and all that stuff before the show in preparation for it. And so once the date of the show comes, you go to the like fairgrounds or wherever it is, and you do your check-in and you bring your animal into its pen, and you get all the bedding in there and make sure it's eating and drinking, so it's not too stressed out, because you still want your animal hydrated and you still want it on its regular feed regimen, or else it can go downhill very quickly. I know, trust me. So during the show, you are still preparing for the show. There's usually 1 to 2 days before you actually show or do showmanship, so like at a big stock show. And usually it's 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
The Fort Worth stock show I was there for 4 days. Sorry, my dog is wanting into my room. It's fine.
Is it cruel or like inhumane or something?
So some might say that stock shows are cruel and inhumane because kind of the way that it's portrayed, but it is in fact not cruel or inhumane. Going from the poultry show, which is chickens, all the way to a cattle show, it's not inhumane, because ultimately the purpose of your animal is to be put on the meat truck. Like, that's what they're being raised for, most animals, except for the breeding animals, which are being raised to produce new animals.
Really? Didn't get that from them.
Yeah, okay, well, whatever. So in a lot of people's eyes, it might be inhumane, but they really don't understand the work that goes into it and
So basically it's just population control?
Yeah, pretty much. Because honestly, if you think about it, if you don't kill your chickens for meat, they will take over the world. And that's all there is to it.
But eat more chicken.
So, you gotta... I think one of the biggest things that people see is at the end of the show, the kids having to put their animals on the meat truck and them crying because it's so sad, but and yes, it is sad, but ultimately they knew that this day was coming. They knew that they were going to have to give up their animal.
So how long do they typically last? Like, I know sometimes they're multiple days,
Yeah.
but like how many hours like in a day are you actually at this show?
Well, when I was at Fort Worth this year, I was there from usually about 7 to 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Gross.
So it's like a full day affair. You eat there, you sleep there. A lot of people will spend the night out there with their cows. Like, yeah, I've seen it happen. Especially like at Fort Worth, it's kind of crazy because the cows are in tie-outs, like out in the parking, kind of like the parking lot, but it's like closed. So they're in the tie-outs out there, and their owners just sleep out there with them. You can be out there all days, 12 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours, you know, it just really depends on what you decide to do with your life. I went home. But, yeah, so it also depends on where the show's at.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to stay in hotels. But that's for like the big, like Houston, Fort Worth, San Antonio. Those are like all day affairs. And so are jackpot shows.
Okay.
But jackpot shows, you get there in the morning, and then you're checking out in the evening.
Oh, so it's just one day.
Yeah, it's just a one-day show.
And then the big ones are like
3 to 4 days.
3 to 4?
To 5 days. Depends. A lot of stock shows like last a long time. Like the Fort Worth Stock Show Rodeo is like a whole month affair. But there are like different species on different weekends. So like one weekend is lamb and goats, and then another is rabbits and stuff like that.
Okay. So, what's the aftermath of the stock show?
So after you check out of the stock show, after you're done showing, you're either putting your animal on the meat truck, selling it to another buyer, depending on the show, or if it's a jackpot show, you come home, put the animal back in its pen, and you start your whole preparation thing over again for the next show. Sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's happy, and there's a lot of hard work.
Okay.
Either way.
So how do you prepare?
So how I prepared this year for my stock shows, I showed a goat this year, and he was adorable. His name's Gatsby. I will insert a picture here. He's adorable.
I talk goat with him all the time. Well, talked.
Yeah. Yes, I did have to put Gatsby on the meat truck, but you know, I was prepared for that. So, anyways, okay. So how do you prepare for a stock show? 1, get your animal. 2, feed your animal.
Really?
Yes. 3, okay, so you have to know what you're feeding and how you're feeding. So you want to be sure to feed the same thing every day, the same amount, so that you regulate their feed regimen and they're gaining like you want them to or losing weight like you want them to. And then you have to work them out. For goats, you can walk them or run them on a treadmill, and then you have to practice bracing them. With a goat, you like have them push their chest against your leg, so they like are pushing back, so it makes their muscles pop. With cows, you're walking them around the arena, and you hold their head up, and you pet them with your little show stick, which helps them keep calm.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and then you just gotta make sure that you are making sure your animal's healthy and working it like it should be worked to see the results that you want.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So like, what's the whole purpose? Like, is it just to kill them eventually and get money?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So that's the overall, and that's really the overall end result. Most of the time with steers and market animals, so anything from rabbits, chickens, to goats and pigs and all that stuff. But really the purpose for the exhibitors, which are the Youth of America, FFA members, 4-H members, and then even adults that participate, is to gain really life skills, because showing an animal is not easy work.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it, and it really teaches the children, like the youth, what's the word? Responsibility and dedication, hard work of what it really takes to have a show animal. And I mean, those animals that you see that make sale, those are 5-hour-a-day animals, maybe more, that they spend out at the barn working those animals and feeding those animals. So really the purpose is like teaching a lot of life skills.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess like the last question is who participates, or like who can participate and stuff like that.
So anyone can participate. There's a lot of youth fairs. So at our county show, we have our obvious stock shows with all your animals that you bring, and you can, do all that. And then you have like other things that you can participate in. Okay. So there's a photography contest, and art contests, and horticulture and ag mechanics, and let's see.
What do the art people do? Just paint pictures of cows?
No. There's lots of, you can do like sceneries. There's different like sections. Okay. So it's you can like have an agriculture related painting or drawing or whatever, but you can also be drawing a ballerina. So it really ranges. I'm really sorry if you hear this TV in the back. Like, my grandma has to listen to TV really loud because she can't hear anything.
She's adorable.
She is. I love her. But yeah, so really anyone can participate. There's youth shows that are only for, the youth, like the young people, the junior FFA members and 4-H members, to like seniors in high school. And then there's open shows, which is for anybody from youth to adults, like breeders that come and show their animals. So yeah. You don't have to show an animal usually to go to a stock show.
Charlotte's Web, like at the very end, is that a stock show?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's so sad.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Agsense. Thank you for joining me and letting me answer your questions. So a little recap. This is the stock show episode about what a stock show is, how it operates, and stuff like that. I'm so sorry about the background noise. My people are struggling down there, but that's okay. My mom's like screaming.
Lily.
Oh, and there's my dog again. Thanks again for tuning in to, this is episode 3 of Agsense, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.